Yes, a very quick one. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. And of course, as always, I am here to address the people of Biafra in Nigeria. And there is need for us to have a review on just three main principles to survive the onslaught against us as a people. First of all, you must understand that as a people, there is a deliberate onslaught against us, a deliberate destructive force working against us. And every day we lose our ground. Without the knowledge of our people, and most of them think it's a call for celebration. In their ignorance, they rejoice over it, without noticing or acknowledging that gradually we are being undermined as we diminished potentially and otherwise. And so this morning I want to point the attention of those who are listening to just three main principles. First of all, let's look at the destructive or the onslaught against us as a people. We are the most endangered species of Homo sapiens here on earth. We are constantly being attacked to be relegated to the background. For many reasons, I cannot outline all of them this morning. And some of the major weapons they use on this onslaught is blackmail, character assassinating. They put confusion, causing confusion, instigation among the people. And then they attack you verbally. They attack you in terms of confrontationally. And it's just to demoralize you. It's just to keep you where they want you to be. We've witnessed this century after century, decades after decades. And we fought back. Our fathers has fought back. Sincerely, pretty good. They did fought back. But still, till this moment, we've not been able to make a headway. Some of us did. But some of us in their ignorance want us to remain on this dilemma position, where we sit on the fence, neither progressing nor we're just on the fence. It's important you get this three information and let it kind of create information on how you should function as an individual. This onslaught tactics being used by the enemy is eventually being replicated by ourselves to destroy one another. And you're not seeing it yet. We came out to fight for unification of our people, time without number. Like I said, the strategy for the onslaught is released. And what happened at the end of the day will fall apart on a daily basis. They tell you you cannot make it, you are not good enough, you shouldn't be there. We look at politics on the other hand. You are not going anywhere. You look at the agitation platform, you are not going anywhere. And in the midst of this onslaught, some people see it as a way of making money, as a way of emerging as a god. And each time they do this, they do it to the detriment of the people. Another onslaught is going. Our people, I think they are gradually having sense. That is why most of them has not misbehaved. And if they misbehave, this onslaught will spread. And it is going to be a Biafran against a Biafran. I don't know how to present this picture for you to be able to see clearly. But understand, it is not about what they did to us that matters to me. It is about what we have done to ourselves. And so if you are a Biafran in Nigeria, I'm not talking to the Duduwa nor the Arewa, I'm talking to the Biafrans in Nigeria, you must understand that three principles are required for you to survive this onslaught. Now, let's look at it this way. The first thing you need to do is to know yourself. Most of our people don't know themselves. Know thyself. I can assure you, if you bring out Nnamdi Kanu today and ask him, who are you? He don't know himself. He doesn't know himself. Because if he knows himself, there are a lot of things he has done, he is doing, he will not try to do that. You can see he is a hired recruit. Forget about, don't let them deceive you if you want to survive this onslaught. They tell you, Biafra will come today, Biafra. They know what they are doing. They don't know themselves. Because if they know themselves, they will know that whatever they are doing has a ripple effect. And of course, a very negative one. Most of you think is, oh, you're fighting to destroy George. You can't. You're fighting to destroy another person. You can't. You're fighting to destroy the system. Your very atrocity against your people will relegate us further to a background. Our survival is entitled or can only be ensured by we knowing these three basic principles. So the first one there is know yourself. Do you know yourself? Oh, we want to be president. Do you know yourself? We want Biafra. Do you know yourself? We are being marginalized. Do you know yourself? Know yourself. It is the knowledge of oneself that gives you all the vital information that you need to survive in life. Let me try to be brief here. As a farmer, animal farmer to be precise, in my first year getting involved in that line of business, I went to the bird session and I brought different kind of birds together. Both the turkey, 3 different species of turkey, the local fowl, almost 4 different species of local fowls, and then the dog fowl, and then the peacock, and many birds. And because they were all birds, I thought it's convenient to put them in the same cage. The first day, the second day, from the third day, some of them begin to fall sick. And they began to die one after the other. I lost so many birds. And when I could not bear it any longer, I went to a veterinary doctor and explained the challenges that I'm going through in that sector. And they gave me some drugs, which I did apply as directed by the doctor, but it didn't work. And then about a week later, having lost almost 50% of the birds, I went back to the veterinary doctor and said, this solution is not working. And the man said, okay, let me ask you some questions. First of all, what did you put on the layer, the ground where you keep these birds? I say, I poured sand there. The man said, wow. Okay. Did you keep them on separate cage or you kept all of them in the same cage? I said, I kept all of them in the same cage, just an open cage. He said, now, if you want any of those birds to survive, rush back now, remove that sand from the floor there, look for a sawdust, pour it on the floor there, and then separate those birds. He said, for instance, the crossbreed turkey carries a kind of virus that can kill other birds like noiler or broiler or even a local fowl at a particular stage. He said, that is the stage your birds are. And immediately I rushed back to the farm. I separated the animals. And since then, I have improved. I know how they function. And so at a particular age, I don't bring them together. Because each of them has a virus, or do I call it disease, or a chemical they produce that enables them to develop to a bigger or stronger animal that they are. But each of these chemicals, though work in themselves for good, but becomes a destructive chemical that can kill other species of bird. Know thyself. And so as a people, our need are the same. Like I said yesterday, we want emancipation. We want to be the author of our destiny. But because we are different species, because we reason differently, because we are different individuals, your action, your right is encroaching on my right. Your attitude is affecting me already. Your modus operandi is destroying everything already. And you see, if you don't know yourself, you will continue acting that way. And before you realize the truth, the onslaught by ourselves against ourselves would have put an end to everything that we represent. That is the stage we are today in the Biafra Restoration Project. Yes, you are very intelligent. You know everything. You are God. You are everything. But then, you forget this truth when David said to God, your gentleness has made me great. And that is because God did not act in his capacity against David. He allowed mercy to overrule. And that is why David survived. And if you are a true parent or you are a parent, you will understand that the only way your children can survive and become the person you want them to become is to make allowance for their weakness. You must know them. You must know how they function. In the absence of that, you are going to have children that each time you think about them in the nearest future, all you will have is regret. Many of your daughters cannot survive in their husband's home, not because you didn't bring them up properly. You don't even know them. Many of your sons today are not going to survive except they go on drugs and live all manner of life because they believe the world can be built by mothers and uprising, not because you didn't teach them, because you don't even know them. And if you don't know yourself, how could you claim you know your children? And if you don't know your children, how could you claim it's your home? And so you see, as a leader, what you need to do first of all is to come down to the level of the people you lead. You must understand the one that is sick and need attention and give them more attention, and then you must understand the ones that are strong and put their energy to the use. In the absence of this, what is happening in Biafra Restoration is what you will get, because the foolishness in the system is simply promoted by mediocrity. Criminals, people without conscience, they are messing all of us up, and you are clapping. But make no mistake about that. Every process that we are going through, every form of transformation, we are the ones involved. Who are the political Nigerian politicians now? It is Biafra agitators. Who are the ones destroying the Biafra agitators? It is the Biafra agitators. Who are the ones killing our people? It is our people. Just look at everything that is happening. We have become a very destructive fox among ourselves because we fail to know ourselves. There are many areas you need to know that the way Ibibio man reason is not the way Igbo man reason. And what is accepted by Igbo man is certainly not accepted by Urobo. And that thing Urobo man will ignore, a Jaw man will not take it lightly. And then though the Ogoja man may not say anything, everybody know themselves. But having known yourself, do you know yourself? Because it is one thing for you as a father to know yourself. Do you know your children? I'm a father and I have children and I know how all of them function. There are those that will behave somehow I know how to treat them. For instance, 3 of my children can find themselves, or 4 or 5 of them can find themselves in a challenging moment. I don't address them the same way. If my first son acts disobedient, I will call him and scold him. What do you mean? I won't allow him to talk. I will scold him immediately. Because I know if I ignore it, he will think it's the right thing to do. But if I scold him, he will go back and think. And he will not make that mistake again. And so I'm not scolding him to make him feel bad. I know how he reasons. I know how he functions. And as a father, if I love him, I will guide him. Are we doing that to our people? You are the one destroying them. You are the one spoiling them. You are the one supporting the process. And you can't see this onslaught. And then there is another. When I say do this thing, he will prove stubborn. And the greatest mistake I will make is to follow that child in that manner. He's going to misunderstand me. He's not going to do that thing. He's going to resist every process. And when they have the same challenges, I will scold one. And then I will call one and say, what is wrong with you? Look at your head. I'll just take it lightly. And I'll move on. And you will see, he will be broken down. Because there is this chemical in him. He expects you to react. And the moment you did not react, that chemical will move into a different part of his brain where he can function normally. And so with this study of my family, with this study carried out on myself, I can predict the whole situation. I know what is to come. I know what is. I'm not God, but everything that pertaineth life, and the Bible says godliness, God has said before us. If we use this wisdom to follow everybody, all these troubles will not be there. Let me tell you something. For instance, in IPOB, for almost 5 years, I occupied the position. I have enemies and I have friends. But I've never set a distinction between them. They have the choice to make. And as much as I cannot force you to be my friend, I make sure I don't show you that you are my enemy. You will be the one to tell me you are my enemy. I made sure that in every given instance, I stand my ground. And today, it is very difficult for anybody who has known me to come out openly and accuse me. They can't. They feel guilty, all of them, if they have ever crossed my way. Why? Because know thyself. Why? Because I know them. And Jesus said, I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. How will you be pretending to lead the people you know nothing about? How will you be pretending to deliver people you know nothing about? Or don't you know some animal in their weakness is when they are strong? Do you really understand when God say in thy weakness, that in his weakness or in your weakness, his power is made manifest? Some of you, if you are not weak and brought to the ground, your true power will not manifest. And so know yourself. Know yourself. By extension, know what you are getting involved with. Don't let people carry you up and down. Because when they carry you up and down, you will be blown on every direction. And you see, a rolling stone gathers no moss. If we must survive this onslaught, we must know ourselves. Because then you will stop reading meaning into people's action. Then you will stop developing judgmental character and attitude towards anybody. It is applicable in way of life. If you know yourself, you will succeed in life. Most people fail because they don't know themselves. While you are trying to know me, while you are trying to know what you are not supposed to know, while you are trying to know what you are supposed to know, my brother, my sister, first of all, know thyself. That will be the determining factor whether you succeed in life or not. Let me digress a little bit. As a student, I spent most of my days in the secondary school in the boarding house. All my days in secondary school, I was in the boarding house. And then I noticed that during break time, most students don't like to play with me or in the class. And then I try to find out why. Even in the dormitory. And then I observed them. And one day, we were playing. After break time, we were playing in the class. And one of the boys in the dormitory now called the people playing with me. He said, "Una dey follow that man. Make una no go read una book. That man no dey sleep. When you follow and play finish, that time when you dey sleep, in the reading book." And that was the first time I noticed that aspect of my life. And so if you follow my blogger, you notice almost every night I'm awake. It's in my DNA, but let's not go there anyway. And so as a student, if my teacher is teaching, I just do jotting and I look at them. But you see, at the end of the class, at the end of the day, every night, I begin to study and study and study to find out what they have taught. And you see, most cases in the morning, when they ask me question and I'm answering it, it's like, how did you know? But this is my own way of studying. So in the class, the teacher can be teaching and say, yes, what is the answer of this? I don't know. Not until I go back to revise those things. I don't know. And most people will laugh at me and say, Uludu. But I will take first at the end of the day. I know myself. So I stopped struggling to impress teachers by answering their questions during class session. But I knew it was necessary. I should be able to develop that capacity. But I paid attention on the better part of me. And that is when you are sleeping, I study. Because the Bible says when men sleep, the enemy came. And so if you are the enemy, you come. I'm waiting for you. But that doesn't make me better than you who cannot read at night. But what I want you to get there is that I know myself. Most of you did not see the chance of you passing through your university degree. But you knew yourself. This creates faith in you, determination, and you believe you can make it. You can do it. And look at you today. You made it. Let us know ourselves. Biafrans, know yourself. Those of you participating in politics, know yourself. Those of you fighting to give us Biafra, know yourself. Those of you fighting to protect our one Nigeria, know thyself. Because you should be able to set a difference between why you are there and what you are doing. Because there is a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Some of you are in political participation. You have turned to a tout already. You are now flying on the wings of propaganda and deceit. But what you are not considering is those your action, you are trying to score cheap popularity for yourself is actually destroying somebody. I listened to some video being purported that was one political, what is the name of this man? Tinubu deputy, vice president. That man was saying how they are going to kill Igbo people. And this was the audio of Kunle and Adamu Farouk. And now they are saying, is it not, what is this Tinubu man's name? That is the one. Now, if you lie to your children about that, if you lie to your people about that, and they believe it at the moment, they will know the truth is propaganda. They can't trust you again. It is an onslaught. Today it's becoming difficult for us to trust ourselves, to believe in ourselves, to work for a unified purpose or reason. Why? Because most of you have aided and abetted criminal. I can't imagine when you know Nnamdi Kanu is a criminal, for instance. When you know IPOB is a business for Nnamdi Kanu family. When you know Nenaya, Chikedusem and the rest of them, Bright Chimeji, all of them are feeding on the misery of our people. when you see the lie before your very eye, and somewhere along the line, you wish it can become true, you don't know yourself. Because if you know yourself, you will discover that most of the things that brought us out here at any platform is what we are repeating. So to survive this onslaught, know yourself. Don't get involved in a very system you pretend you come to solve the problem. Number 2 things, having known yourself. Number 2 principle that you must apply is for you to understand, discover what your problems are. Most people don't know their problem. Most people don't know their problem. How can you solve a problem you don't know? I give you an example of my encounter the first time I got involved in animal farming. The problem were there. Every solution was available. But I identified what the problem really was. I could have given those animals overdose and all of them will die by the solution. But because I tried to find out what the problem was or is, I was able to solve it. Now let me give you another instance so that you know the importance of knowing your problem. Know your problem, identify your problem. You will solve that problem. As I speak presently to you, I have over 40 dogs in my compound. It's not for security only, but it's for business. And now these dogs, as I speak to you, along the line fell sick. More than half of it fell sick. And then I rushed to my veterinary doctor and said, the dogs were vomiting throughout the night, and most of them are losing strength, and they are almost dying. What do I do? The man said, oh, it's a virus. The virus is dangerous. I'm not around now. Go and meet my colleague. Let them attend to you before the dogs die. And I rushed immediately to the recommended vet. And I explained to the doctor. And the doctor said, to treat each of those dogs will cost me 40,000. And I said, most of these dogs is not up to 40,000 naira. I bought them 10,000 naira. And so if you're going to treat a dog I bought 10,000 naira for 40,000 naira, I think it's better I let the dog die and then I take the 40,000 and replace it with 4. And then I left the vet. I came back home. I have said, okay, it's obvious all these dogs are going to die. But then I must try my best. And then what did I do? I moved into organic treatment. I went on Google. Most of you don't know the power of what you're holding. I began to review them. And I was able to take scent leaf, pumpkin leaf, pawpaw leaf, so many leaves, even add hot drink, even have to flush their system with warm water. It will shock you. I knew if I tried, they could survive. But if I fail to do nothing, they will die. And you see, the first day, about 3% recovered. The second day, about 5% recovered. Till the last one, I battled it till I'm not sure I spent up to 3,000 naira. All of them recovered. And I went back to the vet and said, this is what happened. And I said, wow. Now I know a remedy. Now I know a solution. So you should be able to identify your problem. This is one way we have challenges in life and in what we are doing as a people. What is our problem? Look at the Nigerian instances. What is your problem now? You want to be Igbo president? You want to be president of Nigeria? You cannot, if you like, go to court 100, they can pretend and give it to you, but you are not, it's just going to be, I don't know how to put it in English. You cannot, because the problem is not the people trying to prevent you from getting there. The problems are numerous. Your constitution will not allow you to be there. The policies implemented already will not allow you, Igbo man, to be president. The justice system will not allow you, Igbo man, to be president. So why will you know all these things? Instead of you to go and address all these issues, you are swanning on the wings of propaganda, deceiving yourself. I want us to be clear here. You know you cannot find justice in the Nigerian court system, which is one of the areas I advised us yesterday. We need emancipation, legal emancipation. You know you will not find justice because it is different. We don't have the same justice system. And you come out and deceive us. We'll go to court. Let's go to court. I will prove it in a court. Which court? Which court? And by Nigerian constitution, even INEC constitution, you cannot win. If Igbo think that they are majority in Nigeria now, the Igbo don't know what is coming. Because it was when Nigeria was created that we have 3 major ethnic groups. Today in Yoruba land, they try to maintain their statistics. And then in the Hausa land, they have combined. It's now Hausa and Fulani. But in Igbo land, it has been balkanized. It's now Niger Delta, up river line, bottom land, Igbo land, southeast, south. We have been divided into uncountable pieces. So by the time they begin to divide it region by region, our former ancient eastern region is divided into 4 already. We are divided into 4 already. So the power of one has been reduced to 4 places. That is the problem. That is the problem. When a Kale man stand up, he support the Jebu man. The Jebu man rises, he support the Ife man. The Ife man rise up, he support the Modakeke. Modakeke man rise up, they support themselves across the length and breadth of Africa. And even beyond. Because they know what their problem is. And you see, they are able to galvanize themselves. They are able. Just watch the whole Yoruba. I'm not sure I've seen any Yoruba coming on social media if it's not a pretend to attack Tinubu. And say Tinubu, no, it was rigged. No, they give you diplomatic melology. Is that not what they call it? Melology. So it will be sweet. That is my own version of English anyway. They will give you sweet mouth. But on the other side, because we don't know our problem, we are attacking ourselves. We are attacking ourselves. Ordinarily, I would have loved that criminal called Nnamdi Kanu and moved on. But he's too much for him. He is too much for him. Everybody, this man, we call them thief. Everybody, I need him to know it is not in his place. Have I not cured them? Watch IPOB and their touts, how they insult people. It has reduced. They have not made Saboto and more. By now, maybe Chikedozian will be sacrificed or Chinas and Wuru or Nenayanya. But they are doing it. They are ashamed now to do it. Merere Terere would have been destroyed. Now they are deceiving him. He will make poses. Oh, he's hardcore. Because the guy don't have the shock to take what I take. Where is the witch of Massachusetts, Josephine Erewa? I saw her broadcast telling you blackmail. How one Igbo man blackmail Igbo man. How it happened during the war. You don't know your problem. Igbo man, you don't know your problem. It is Josephine Erewa Urubu Shekiri woman now that is going to tell you the Igbo man that is your problem. Josephine Erewa is not telling you the role Urubu and Ishekiri played. He's not telling you. He's not telling you it's Igbo man that is your problem. But you are Igbo man, you will believe it and you turn to idiot. You don't know your problem. You should know your problem. Now the can is a criminal. I want to be criminal. Let me go. He said no. He hired 27 idiots around the world. Sorry, they are not all idiots. Because out of those 27 people, the ones that have conscience called me and said, I have said it. One of them chatted me. One of them called me. We've been asking you, what problem do you have with Nnamdi Idiot Okano? You said nothing. Now, we have been assigned to rubbish you till you cannot open the front door of your house and come out. I want you to know when it starts that it's not personal. They even asked some of them to hijack my Facebook account. They gave assignment to different people to destroy me. Menwa. Yoruba will say Ubiere. They never burned that person. As far as I didn't soil my hand, they never burned that person. You don't know your problem. Because if you know your problem, you will ask Nnamdi Kanu, why are you doing this? That is why when Nnamdi Kanu say, join Peter Obi and Atiku and seal and deliver and document it, I ask Nnamdi Kanu, Ebino Pabe Shera, he took me to take out. It's a weakness between me and him. Oga, God of the Biafra. Oga demigod, have you considered how this thing will affect our people? He's a God. Are you telling me they will not obey me? Well, of course, Mugus are obeying you. I asked him a simple question. This seal, deliver and document you are doing with Atiku and Peter Obi, our Saint Peter Obi, have you checked how it's going on? Is it not what he's playing out now? Is it not what is playing out? You don't know your problem. And so for you to survive this onslaught, you should know your problem. I didn't want this program to be long, but let me try and make my point clear. I remember as a youth, a younger person. I'm still a youth anyway. And then when I started living my life, I had a problem. I can't save. If I have 10 kobo, if I don't finish spending that 10 kobo, I will never get myself. And I knew this was a problem. You pay me 1 million naira, I will lavish it. You pay me 1,000 naira, I will lavish it. In fact, if I don't spend the last penny in that money, I can never be comfortable. And then, I don't know how to talk to my parents about that. I don't know who to tell this. But you see, one of these days, we will look at that topic. Human beings actually have two brains. But not everybody knows. We look at the two brains of man somewhere in some of my broadcasts. So I went and communed with myself. And my God, I keep talking to God. This thing is too much. I can't control it. And I know it's not good. If I continue like this, God, how can I save to raise a family? How can I save to pay for my accommodation? How can I save for turbulence time? And you see, I knew it was a problem. What did I do? God guided me. So when I have 1 million today, I invest everything investable. And so if I don't have anything to throw around, what do I throw around? And then, when there are issues, I go to my investment and get a feedback. That is what has kept me surviving. When I joined IPOB, for instance, everything I had was destroyed. All of them leveled down. But I had couples of investments that was almost struggling. They went between living and dying. I could not give attention to them any longer because of our involvement within Nnamdi Kanu. And you see, now I have to fall back to them. And they are recovering. I knew that problem. And what did I do? I make sure that whatever happened, I should position my money in such a way That if I call that moment at any time, they will answer. All of them may not answer me, but some will answer me. And then I have somewhere to start from. So, as a people, do we know our problem? No, look at yourself as a married woman. You cannot stay in your husband's house. You can't have peace with your husband or your wife. If you don't know what the problem is, you can't solve it. Find out what is the problem. And then finally, if you are able to know yourself, and then you know your problem, the third thing you need to do, it is determination. And finally, that is when our people will say, determination. If you are able to deploy these three principles, you will survive any form of onslaught. Determination. Why do you need to be determined? This knowledge that anything can happen. No matter the situation or circumstance, anything can happen. You go through challenges, through turbulent time. Understand, if that problem will kill you, it will kill you. You can't do anything about it. But then, on the other hand, you should tell yourself, like Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that is determination, not gra-gra. When they were ordered to bow before the golden image, and they said to the king, "Oh, King Darius, you are a good man and very powerful man. Everybody respects you. We fear you. But, oh, King, in this matter, we are not going to bow down to this image, to this idol. If at the end of the day, your decision is that you kill us, and eventually our God is not able to save us from your hand, so be it. But have it at the back of your mind, we will not bow down to this image." That is determination. Daniel and his friends were friends of the king. The king would not want them to die, but he has made a law to indict Daniel. But these people are determined, even though we have to die, even though God refused to save us when we are dying, we must play our role. Determination. Determination. Today, most of you can come out and call out atrocity of Nnamdi Kanu. You can come out and call out the atrocity of China Sanguru, Nenanya, Simeon Ekpa, another criminal, useless, dirty, stinking criminal. You can call out the activity. It was unpopular when we started it. Because before, when Nnamdi Kanu mess, they say, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. They will now be embossing you. Be calm, be calm, be calm. But the guy is rotting and decaying through and through on daily basis. But in my time, and I said, the king that refused to listen to advice is the king that carries shit and walk around. Now the Kanu is carrying shit and walking around. No amount of image lost drink will save him. The only thing that will restore his dignity is for him to apologize. It's for him to apologize. And I hope he will be able to apologize to those he has killed. What a shame. Determination. This determination will make you, against all odds, to stand for what you believe in, what you know is right. Let's look at how we want to be determined. You know your problem as a Biafra. It's not Igbo being president. It's not INEC rigging you. There is a policy that was passed against you on your behalf. There is a conspiracy against you people without your knowledge. You know. What do you do? Focus on that strong man. The strong man of one Nigeria is the Constitution. And that is when the issue of Ninas, it began to make sense to me. They say, pull down this Constitution. Let us review it. After all, Abdul Salami Abubakar gave it to us. He did it with the people of Nigeria. And there is no ethnic group in Nigeria known as we the people of Nigeria. But you have to accept it to our constitution. If I talk now, you tell me the constitution of Nigeria. We are asking you, let's review this constitution. Let's review this constitution. That is the problem. I reminded us yesterday. I said, can you imagine? There are some Nigerians who in 100 lifetime cannot be president. These are nations of their own. Except something happen, Yaradua die in office again. A Bibi man cannot be president of Nigeria. Efiki man cannot be president of Nigeria. A Gala man cannot be president of Nigeria. Gware man cannot be president of Nigeria. Okay, let's say they are not tenants. Fulani can claim land in Gwari and become Abuja man. Abuja Fulani. That's not the area I'm looking at. Urobo man, you can never. Why? Because when INEC will give you their law, National Assembly and House of Rep will give you their law. That until you win 25% of so percent of so quota, you mean the Federal Capital Territory and 20 more states. You win your village and your community, and your number must be up to like 20 million. And all your village population, you are only 500. So when Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba feel they own the country, how will your village, we don't even know their name, your tribe, how will they emerge? You now go and beg Igbo, or you now go and beg Hausa, or you now go and beg Yoruba to help you vote? Even Igbo with all their population, they have rigged them in the census, depopulate them digitally. Depopulate them digitally. What gave room to all those things? Constitution. You are now buying your money. I went to look for money yesterday. This morning I will be trekking to my working place. It's almost 2 kilometers away from where I live. I have to trek. Why? Because I don't have transport. I don't have Naira. I went to look for Naira to buy. I'm using Naira to buy Naira. And they told me that 1,000, they will give me 600. So when you give them 100,000, they will take 40,000 and give you 60,000. And there is every possibility, if this continue to linger, you will share your money 50-50 with them. And I'm sure I can work for a whole month without being able to make 40,000 Naira. And then how could I possibly give 40,000 Naira to somebody changing my money? I suffer to work for my money. Now I have to suffer to spend my money. And you see, the government of the day have the constitution that enables them to justify all this, their hopelessness. They have the constitution, give them back up. My brother Emefiele was telling you as the governor of Central Bank, allow this policy to work, allow this policy to work. Emefiele